Someone has reprogrammed your guilt response, and it didn't happen by accident. You know the feeling. You said something true, something you had every right to say, and somehow you still ended up apologizing for it. Not because you were wrong, but because something in you could not tolerate the discomfort of standing inside what was right. That something has a name, and it didn't come from you. It was installed. By the end of this video, you'll have one question and one pause, and that will be enough to start breaking the pattern in real time. Not perfectly, not immediately, but enough to create a gap between the impulse and the apology. And that gap is everything. Here's what happened. At some point, maybe when you were very young, maybe much later, you learned something specific. You learned that when you expressed something real, an emotion, a boundary, a disagreement, the response was not engagement. The response was discomfort, and discomfort from someone whose approval you needed felt like danger. So your brain did what it was built to do. It found the fastest route from danger to safety, and that route, every time, was the apology. I'm sorry. I overreacted. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I made such a big deal. Not because those things were true, but because saying them made the danger stop. And the brain learns fast, especially when the lesson is this. Your feelings create conflict. Your silence creates peace. So choose peace. Here's what I need you to understand. This is not your character. This is not who you are. This is a survival strategy your nervous system built under conditions that no longer exist. The person whose approval felt like safety may be gone. The situation may be completely different, but the pattern remained. Because your nervous system does not automatically know the old rules have expired. You are not someone who cannot hold their ground. You are someone who learned very effectively that holding your ground had a cost. That's different, completely different. Let me be precise about what is happening in the moment you apologize. You are not apologizing because you did something wrong. You are apologizing because the feeling of conflict, the tension, the other person's reaction, their silence, or their anger, activates the same threat signal your nervous system learned to resolve through surrender. The apology is not a reflection of guilt. It's pain relief. You are not starting a fight. You are not being difficult. You are not wrong. You are in a threat response, and you've been taught there is only one exit. And here is the question that changes everything. Not a confrontation. Not a new script. One question. Did I just apologize for what I felt? Not for what you did. Not for hurting someone. Not for making a mistake. For what you felt. Because that's the tell. That's the exact moment where the reprogramming shows its face. When someone makes you feel something real, hurt, confused, unseen, dismissed, and the first thing you do is apologize for having that feeling. That is not humility. That is the pattern. You do not have to fight it today. You do not have to change everything at once. You just need to notice it. Noticing is how the pattern stops owning you. So what does it look like when the pattern starts to shift? It does not look like suddenly becoming someone who never apologizes. It does not look like confrontation, anger, or finally winning an argument. It looks like a pause, half a second, between the impulse and the words. It looks like noticing the question, am I apologizing for something I did or for something I felt? It looks like sometimes choosing to sit inside the discomfort instead of ending it with surrender. Not every time, not perfectly, just sometimes, and then more often. And then, eventually, the impulse gets quieter. You have been managing other people's discomfort with your own silence for a very long time. And the fact that you're still here, still asking questions, still trying to understand, tells me something. It tells me the part of you that knows the difference between what you feel and what you owe is still alive. Protect that part. If someone in your life needs this, send it to them, not as a message, as a gift. Next week, why the most cognitively aware people are often the easiest to manipulate. 9 documented mental shortcuts, and the one manipulators rely on most. I'll see you there.